Okay, you can do
Wait,
this.
So hold up.
what's the topic?
Helios versus Akuto. I got Helios.
I got Akuto side.
Okay, so basically, let's agree on. Wait, before we start debating, let's agree. Since this equals stats, right? We can just agree on having same premises,
Oh,
like out hacking, like having better hacks, basically.
yeah, yeah,
Yes,
sure.
yeah. So we have our same premise. You agree?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, good. Now, no fallacy limit. We can just call logical fallacies. You okay with that?
Sure, I'm
Yeah.
okay with that.
SBA. What was it?
Mm.
VSBW for like hacks definitions and like terms. Well, you know, other terms than power scaling. Not like when it comes to power scaling and superpower wiki, like no applications unless you can just give your reasoning on why this hacks gives you this.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Also, do you want to go off of Merriam-Webster or just Oxford?
Yeah.
Because Merriam-Webster is like US language and US English, and Oxford is like UK English.
We can go.
Wait, can I say something as a judge that
Yeah.
might help you
Yeah,
out?
sure.
Yeah, what's up?
I'd say like the main three things you should use is like Merriam, Oxford, and then like Google. But like I'd say like arguing semantics, like to fit a definition. Do you think that's
Yeah, and primary denotations. We can do that, sure.
is that fine by you, Saiyan?
Yeah, sure. And Wikipedia definitions too.
Well, that's if it comes down to that, okay. Yeah.
And razors, basically.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so I think I should now start scaling then, I guess.
Yeah, I can go after you, sure.
Sure. Wait, let me just check if I'm recording this, because if not, then I'm fucked up. Oh, good.
We can get Popo to judge off the recording too, if you want.
Sure.
Kfork, are you cold, dude? You sound like shaky as hell.
Man, I just fucking woke up.
Okay, basically, hold up. So I'm gonna just argue my character having absolute judgment. Are you aware of absolute judgment?
Oh, let's see. Mm. Wait a second. How is this absolute judgment? I know I'm not aware of absolute
Hold up.
judgment.
Basically, Helios says, I choose what happens. My judgment cannot be broken. My judgment for you is to stop moving, and I pick for you to go back to hell. Now die. The unbeatable power of his judgment could not be stopped. It was truly absolute. Nothing hold its power back. So that's why it's absolute judgment. So let's say,
Okay.
hold on. Let me finish. Now, let's say, Helios can just make a judgment that your character just doesn't exist. Since now they're on the battlefield, right? He can just make a judgment that your character doesn't exist, then he doesn't exist, so he just wins the fight.
Isn't that called like absolute command, or it's imposing absolute commands upon anything? Which is basically.
Hold on. I mean, he has judgment and command manip too. Like he can like what was a command that they're like erased from existence. But I'm not trying to argue absolute judgment.
Absolute judgment.
Yeah.
Is this the only hacks you try and give him?
I have other hacks, but this is my win con.
You win con. Well, I wouldn't agree to this.
Why?
Because, first of all, it states the unbeatable power of his judgment. And another reason is that you really never specified what version of Helios you were even using.
What do you mean version of Helios? I don't need to specify. What?
Yes, you do, because because we don't know whether you were taking God of War Helios or other versions of
Who is God of War Helios?
It's a character from God of War.
Okay, and I'm not using God of War. I'm using Helios from the novel. What?
And you didn't specify that.
No, listen, hold on. Kfork, let me tell you something. When I'm scaling a character, right? Let's say I scale a Sasuke from like the war arc Naruto who has Rinnegan, right? I don't need to specify. When I scale, I specify that version of Sasuke. So therefore, I don't need to specify. It just implies itself. What
You
is it?
have to. No, because like as Sasuke, there's only there's like barely any other characters called Sasuke, but in many like different
No, no, no. Whoa,
mythologies
whoa, whoa,
and
whoa.
fictions,
Wait,
there
wait,
are
wait.
characters
Kfork,
called
Kfork,
Helios.
listen.
Okay.
Listen.
Kfork.
Well-
Just go off of the version that he's using. Like he probably just didn't know there was a God of War version. Just don't.
Yeah, I
just
didn't, 'cause
try-
I don't
try
even
not to-
play
try
that
not to write
game.
out.
Mhm.
Good. Okay. Still, I wouldn't agree to it either way
Why?
because the unbeatable power of his judgment. That's so incorrect.
Why is it
Why-
incorrect?
Because that's literally imposing that this power cannot be beaten, like no matter what certain case.
Okay, well, if you're gonna okay, try to give a negation to that. What? If you cannot contend, hold on. If you can't contend that, then you.
I can either say this is fallacious.
Why is
that's
this
something-
fallacious? Wait, how is that fallacious?
Because this is literally implying a no limits fallacy.
How? What? How is that no limits fallacy?
Because okay, if you were to say no one with if you were to say Itachi has a Mangekyou Sharingan, and it was stated that someone with a Mangekyou Sharingan can't beat someone without them, that doesn't mean that Itachi can beat all of Marvel and DC, and this implies the same kind of thing too. So yeah,
Hold on. We're not going off of examples. What are you talking about? Wait, let me just get the definition.
this implies that
No,
this
it's not
literally
implying. Oh,
implies the
how
same thing
how
as
is
a
it
no limits
implying it? What the fuck?
Okay,
yeah,
because
hold on.
truly unbeatable.
It has to be indirect. I didn't indirectly said it. I literally said directly
It
that it's an
doesn't-
absolute
well,
judgment. What?
Okay, indirectly. You said it in directly, that's even worse because you just be agreeing to a no limits fallacy if you said
No,
it
I
directly.
didn't. I said it has to be indirect, which I didn't. What?
No, it doesn't necessarily.
So how do you
have to
wait?
be-
How do you know I'm implying that? How do you know that? It's
How
just
do you know I'm? Because it literally states that within that scan that you're trying to argue. Absolutely.
my
No,
days.
no.
Hold on, let's go
literally
off with the definition.
Unbeatable power.
hold on, careful. Listen, this is when someone states that because something has not demonstrated any limits, then it has none. I never said that. It's never demonstrated that he has no limits. Therefore, he has none.
It still can be applied. It can still be applied.
What do you mean?
like,
Still, what do you mean?
Because look at the example. It never stated anything about.
We're
like,
not going
oh,
off of examples. What? We're going off of the
well,
whole
they
meaning.
correlate. The example they use for the
Why
no
will they?
limits
No,
fallacy
listen.
applies the same thing as the fucking argument that you're presenting.
Did I say? Hold on. Did I say my character has absolute judgment? Therefore, his soul is fiction. What?
It implies the same.
How do you know I'm
literally
implying
implies-
that? Answer
Yeah,
that question.
I don't have to if it implies.
You don't need
that.
to. Dude,
Okay,
that's just
okay,
circular
okay.
reasoning.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're going a bit repetitive. So if y'all would like to conclude on this subpoint,
Yeah,
we can.
sure. We can conclude on my days.
Okay, you can conclude.
Okay, who wants to get their conclusion first?
I
You
can go. I mean, Kfork can go first, as long as he's not making new points in the conclusion, or else I'ma just. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'll point it out. if he
Okay.
does.
Oh, my
Mhm.
days.
So my conclusion is that he's just he's saying, this has to be indirect or direct. I'm telling him, regardless of whether it's direct or indirect, it would still apply as using the example. And the example implies the same thing as this scan because one states, you can't beat this character without this certain thing, right? And this same thing it states this implies almost the same exact thing. You can't beat this character's judgment. It's unbeatable. So yeah, that's why it's a no limits fallacy, and he really hasn't contended that. And he just asked me a question. So yeah, that's why I think I won.
Okay, Saiyan.
Okay, so basically, this scan that I showed, right? When I showed in the definition, this is when someone states that because something has not demonstrated any limits, then it has none. This scan literally proves it. It's verbatimly states there, and I told him that since my character has absolute judgment, right? Then he was trying to call no limits fallacy on this. Then him calling the fallacy literally contradicts itself because it is demonstrated. That's the difference. And not only that, I literally asking a question. How am I implying that? He said he doesn't have to answer that question. I don't even see why he's saying like that. Like, what him calling the fallacy literally contradicts itself because it has demonstrated. That's the difference of the fallacy.
Okay. I'm making my judgment. Okay. Kfork. I understand what you're trying to say, but like, it's like weird. It's almost like you got the
Okay,
definitions
wait.
flip-flopped.
So no. Whether it was flip flopped or not, he tried to argue the demonstration point. Yeah, it even states it still has the limits that's demonstrated, right? So yeah, that point of his wouldn't even matter within this debate.
Okay. Kfork. Look, he never said that it has no limits because it simply has not demonstrated any. That claim was simply never made.
I within an argument. What do you not understand about that?
No. I understand. You're trying to say it's on the scan that it's a no limits fallacy, not his argument. I know what you mean, but it's weird because it's almost like you have the definitions like reversed or something. Like
No,
basically what you're saying is like, since the scan like it says it has no limits, therefore it's a no limits fallacy. It's weird because like that's kind of an argument from ignorance on your part, but
no.
but anyway, I think Saiyan won this point because
Yeah.
what you tried to denounce his argument. No, because what you tried to denounce his argument with
No,
was the claim that was never
I'm
made.
not about to deal with this dumbass judgment because that's fucking no. I denounce his argument to be being fallacious due to the fact that it is implying his character has unbeatable judgments, right? And he really never contended that. He tried to say, "Oh, it's only based on demonstration." No, it's not.
I gave you the
It can work
defeater. What the fuck?
regardless of
Okay.
demonstration or not. So I don't really see your judgment how it's correct, especially considering scans and arguments are presented. Like when you present a scan, you also have to present an argument for that scan, so they're contingent upon each other. So if I debunk one, I would debunk the other unless he contends that, which he never did. He just asked me a question. How does it imply that? Even though, first of all, I've already explained, and like I wouldn't need to explain again. Like
No, I got it on the recorder. You literally said you don't need to answer that question.
Okay, well then you can go and show this recording to anyone that has the good judgment.
Okay. Kfork.
I'm not about to deal with no damn dumb judgment though.
Okay, then debate him on judgment. What? It's not my problem.
I justify my point. If you could justify your point and you're like why judgment's logically incorrect.
I'm just saying you didn't denounce his argument. I understand what you're trying to say is like it's a no limits fallacy because his thing has no because he's trying to say his thing has no limits. That claim was simply never made. That's what I'm just saying.
The claim was never made.
The claim that has no limits was never made. Yes, that is correct.
The claim of no limits was never made. It's okay.
The claim that his judgment has no limits was never made. Even though it is reinforced within his scan, the claim was never made.
Even if it is implied, the definition says state, so directly stated. And you're trying to argue it off of indirect state.
Oh my god. It can still be implied and used as an implication.
Okay, so it doesn't fit the fallacy. What? You just conceded to that.
Still does.
Kfork, I'm just saying
limitations. Then yeah, it still fits the fallacy. Is that's what this fallacy states. That's because if you state something that like it has no limits or it's implied that it's unbeatable, then yeah, that would be fallacious as what people can have the ability.
It has to be a direct. Kfork, I already gave you the feeder to that.
It doesn't have to be direct.
It's here it says it because something's like the. Oh my days.
It can be implied.
Glox,
oh my god.
If he disagrees on the judgment, you can just debate him on it, right?
okay.
I've already explained my point, and he really hasn't contended it. So yeah, I don't see how like the judgment holds validity. No, you didn't. We can get Popo in here. I'm about to give this shit because I don't want to.
Please get Popo in here. Popo will agree with me. Popo's.
No, he won't. He'll actually agree with me.
Okay, then I'll add him.
swear you.
Oh, okay.
I bet you.
Okay, I'm gonna just stop this recording now for now. So I'll just get others to watch this recording.
Good.